I was really unhappy with how life was going and I needed something that was going to switch me up. So I'll read you out a journal entry. That weak fucking loser is back again. Who can't fucking say what he's going to do and actually follow through with it. I thought we said we're going to lock in. This month you've been nothing but a lazy sack of shit. Everything's your fault. You're a fucking fraud, a coward. Grow the fuck up right now. Stop being a little bitch. Fuck you. There are times in your life where you have to be fucking raw and honest with yourself and tell yourself you are not reaching the level that you need to.
He was stuck in the cycle, partying, drinking, mindless connection, escaping reality, but 7 months ago, he gave it all up and locked in. Since then, his business has hit 6 figures a month, his confidence has skyrocketed, and he's finally proud of the man he's becoming. Please welcome to the show, Tom Baulch.
I was looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, I'm not actually happy at all with the person that I am. I was maybe at my absolute lowest. I was like, I have so much potential. Got like a 1% growth every day poster on my wall. And I just think, how can I be 1% better every day? And some days I'm 1% worse. Some days I'm 50% worse.
18 months ago, you said, I feel like a fraud. I feel fake. Do you feel like you're in a better spot now?
If I'm saying you need to stop ordering Uber Eats, yet I'm doing it, then that makes me feel like an absolute fraud. But I want to be the best fitness and lifestyle coach. And to do that, I have to show up every single day for myself, for my clients as well. I think that one of the most motivating things is
I've been using nose strips and mouth tape religiously for over 3 years now. And this may sound dramatic, but it has quite literally changed my life. I have a deviated septum, which means I can't really breathe out of my nose properly. And for a long time, I would wake up feeling extremely tired. My brain was foggy. I had zero energy. And come to find out, when you're snoring and breathing through your mouth all night, you're not truly allowing your body to rest. Your mouth isn't made for breathing. Your nose is. And we can go without food for weeks. We can go without water for weeks, but we can only go without breathing for minutes. I think it's important that we prioritize breathing correctly. I use Dream Recovery's mouth tape and I also use their brand new Second Wind nasal strips. Every single day, I apply them just before bed, and this nasal strip stays on well throughout the day. The next day, it is 2 p.m. right now, and I am still wearing this thing from last night. Right now, if you go to the link in the description or the show notes below, or go to dreamrecovery.io and use code Griffin, you can get 15% off your entire order. That's dreamrecovery.io, or go to the link in the description or the show notes below and use code Griffin. That's GRIFFIN, and you'll get 15% off your entire order. Let's get breathing correctly. Let's get sleeping better, and let's get right back to the show.
Dude, I'm ready to lock into this.
Oh my God, dude, something about the breath work.
Dude,
just gets me,
what?
Dude.
Now, it makes you question yourself. Why don't you do that every morning when you wake up, or 2 hours after you wake up before you have your first sip of caffeine? And why don't you do it every night before you go to bed, kind of thing? Because it's 10 minutes out of your day, and realistically, I could assure you that you probably spend 20 minutes or 10 minutes on your phone that you probably could not, and probably would get more out of doing that once a day.
Well, an hour is 4% of your day. So you can only imagine what 10 minutes is. And I think it's always this reminder, though, that like we say this and it's like, yeah, you could easily just stick to it, but it's just, there's like a friction point to it. There's a friction point to lying on the ground and fucking doing those deep breaths. It's not that comfortable, especially if you're alone. But I think it's important for me, I was saying to you before this, is showing up for me before showing up for everyone else, because then I can show up for everyone else in the best way. So when I'm doing a recording, it's a necessity. Like I do it every recording. Every podcast. If a billionaire comes in and he's wearing a suit and he's never done breath work before, I still get him to do breath work.
And how do they find it?
Oh, like they may not lean into it as much, or we may not lie down on the floor, but we sit in the chair and do the breath work. But I think it's just so important because, dude, I feel great. Incredible right now. Incredible. But dude, welcome on the show.
Thanks for having me, man. It's great to be here. So exciting.
Why did you stop drinking at the start of the year?
For me, I knew that it was the start of everything. So drinking was, I think that there's two different people that you have, right? There's the sober person and then there's the drunk person. And they were not aligned at all in any aspect of their ideas or their goals. It's like when I was sober, I wanted to work really hard on my business. I wanted to work really hard on my fitness. I wanted to achieve all of these goals. And then as soon as I had that first drink, then it was game over. And all of these goals, then the thought of like having a vape or the thought of even, I talk about drugs as well because it's very common in Australia, drug use. The thought of
in the world,
drug use or vaping when I'm sober, I'm like, yuck, that is disgusting. The most disgusting thing ever. Sleeping with someone as well, kind of like, like hooking up with someone in a club, like, yuck, that's gross. Then as soon as I'd have like 5-10 drinks or one sip of a drink, I'm like, where's the vape? Where's the drugs? Where is, who can I hook up with? And it was like, why is there such a vast difference of the person that I am when I'm sober and the person that I am when I'm drinking? And those two people weren't aligned. And it was like Jekyll and Hyde almost. And I realized that for me to get to where I needed to get to, I was going to have to sacrifice that part of me. And I'm 6 or 7 months through the year now. I haven't even thought about touching a sip of alcohol, and I couldn't be happier with where I'm at 7 months later.
Mm. Was it a cycle that you were in and you found yourself just kind of repeating it time and time again? Was it just a sporadic, I would drink every now and then and I wanted to quit? Or do you think it was becoming a problem?
I think it was becoming a problem, but you don't know it's becoming a problem because everyone else is doing it. Everybody else is drinking every weekend. Everybody else, especially from a football culture, a football club perspective, anything that I've ever done, drinking has always been such a big part of my life. I started playing senior football when I was 15 or 16 years old with my dad and with everybody else that is drinking, and you're obviously not meant to be drinking under the age of 18, but I was 16 and I was playing senior football with these 30-year-olds, 35-year-olds, 25-year-olds, and after a game, they'd hand you a beer. It's there in the change rooms after you've finished a game. They put down a carton or 2 cartons of 4X Gold or Carlton Dry or Carlton Draft, whatever it is, in the middle, and then they force you to drink. And you feel like you're not part of the team unless you have an alcoholic beverage in your hand. And if you win the grand final, which we did when I was 16 playing senior footy, you go and you want to feel part of what everybody else is doing.
You also want to do it.
You want to do it because you want to be part of what everyone else is doing. So for me, it was always a big part of my life. It was always a big part of football culture growing up. And also gambling is a big part. Drugs is a big part. And a lot of people probably don't talk about it because it's a little bit taboo to talk about. And it's so normal. And I don't think we're self-aware enough to be like, this is actually debilitating. This is completely and utterly ruining my life. And that's why I really had to cut it out and make a stop to it.
When you think there's people like in those, people are going to be listening to this going, yeah, I'm in that cycle now. I'm listening to this on a Monday and I'm just destroyed myself on the weekend. It's this cycle that you actually can't comprehend not having alcohol in your life. You look at someone where they're sober and you're like, what are they doing? It's like it becomes a part of your life. And then the more you go away from the alcohol, the less desire you have to even go anywhere near it. And it flips. Is that the case for you as well? Do you feel like when you were in it, it was never a matter of I'm going to stop drinking for good forever sort of thing. But the more you don't drink, the less desire you have to drink?
I have no desire to ever drink again, but you've got to remember that this is all goal dependent, right? So for someone that is working a 9 to 5 and their goals might not be to be entrepreneurial, or for me, I set big financial goals at the start of the year and I knew that I had to sacrifice drinking in order to reach those financial goals and also those fitness goals that I've set for myself. So I knew that I had to make that sacrifice. But for other people that do just want to play footy every weekend and they do just want to work their 9 to 5, or they're a tradie and they just want to go through life and do that, that's fine. Like if that's what you want to do, that's totally fine.
Do you think they want to?
I don't think that they know any other alternative, but everyone that I have spoken to that has stopped drinking or has lowered, there are a lot of people that have great control over drinking and just want to do it once a month or have a few wines with their friends because it's a social setting. And that's where they get to see their friends. They don't go to run clubs or they don't do these fitness events that you or I might do where we get to meet lots of people, and their way of socializing and connecting and community is such a big part of people's lives, and having friends and going out for their wines or going out for a beer, that is their highlight of their week. It's a highlight of their month. Go and do that. That's totally fine. But if you are doing it every single weekend and you're spending $500 every weekend on alcohol, going out, drinking, drugs, vapes, whatever it might be, I can assure you that you are not living your life to the level that you could, and you're not optimizing your life to the level of which you could.
Yeah, and then you're also not, your soul's not being desired. Like you're what you deep down want is not being met. I think truly, because you can have this all laid out for you, and you can have this security, and you can have the thing that your parents will make you proud, that your parents are proud of, that they're happy that you're safe and secure. But I still feel like there is a lot of people, and there's exceptions to the rule, but there's a lot of people in that state that still feel empty. They still have this missing piece in their life. There's like a lack of purpose, a missing why. And a lot of the time, it's not actually about trying to search for that thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually about trying to free up space to invite it in. Like, free up all of the shit that you have in your life, all of the drinking, all of the mindless sex, all of the drugs, all of the shit talking, all of the things that you're doing that are just clogging up all of the space in your life that does not serve you.
Mm-hmm.
You can't expect to have this like life that is fruitful and amazing and fulfilling when all you're doing is your days are filled with shit. You're hungover, you're doing things you don't like to do, you show up for work before showing up for yourself. You would never get on the ground and do a breath work before the thing that you have to do that people are looking at you doing because you just want to get the job done. And I think all of these little things overarchingly result in you just being so cluttered that you have no space to think freely and to invite anything that's great that you want into your life.
Yeah, I'll tell a story about, and it's really hard for us because we have to remember and we have to take a step back and be like, our perspective of the world is based off the people that we talk to and the people that we meet and the content that we consume. And for me, my perspective of the world, especially over the last 6 months, once I've started to do more of this online coaching, is that a lot of my clients are people that are really unhappy with where they're at in their life. They're drinking, they're going out, they're vaping and doing all that type of thing. So, and they're really unhappy. So my perspective is that every single person in the world that is doing that is unhappy because they're the people that I've spoken to. But there are other people out there that might be completely fine. I doubt it, but there could be other people out there that are completely fine. My perspective is based on the people that I speak to. And it's really interesting that some of the people that I've brought on my coaching program, that I'll use an example of this guy called Aaron, who I brought on the coaching program. He was 120 kilos and incredibly unhappy, and he was drinking and drinking. He couldn't quite do the things in the program for the first month, even though he was paying the money. And he realized after he couldn't stick to the program that he was an alcoholic, and he had to go to Alcohol Anonymous, go to AA meetings and everything. But if he didn't actually kind of have that self-awareness of being like, this drinking every weekend and demolishing myself isn't normal, because everyone that he's surrounded by and his perspective of the world is that that's normal because they're the people that he speaks to. They're the people that he's around. And it wasn't until I had to be like, that's not normal, dude. Like, you got to stop doing that type of thing because you're just completely ruining yourself. And now he's lost like 25 kilos already. He wants to get down to 80. And he's realized he's sober. He's been sober for like 60 days or 70 days. And it's just like, that is the kind of impact that I walk away from. And I'm like, he's only halfway through of where he's going to get to. But that is what fulfills me and puts a smile on my face, that I can be like, I've stopped drinking and now I'm really happy, but then I can also inspire others to follow along that path.
Yeah, it's just that step of going, that's how coaching's even a thing, because you kind of go from A to B and now you want to help people get from A to B as well. It's like, I've just overcome that. Holy shit. My life is so much better now. And I know there's so many people that are in the same shoes that I was in. I want to help those people, or even greater. Dude, I'll be honest. That breath work got me earlier.
How so?
I think it,
Do people know that you do breath work before every...
I don't talk about it a lot, but
Okay.
I do breath work before everything. But I think there's just so much happening in life. And it just like hit me. Like, it was so euphoric and like a little bit emotional, because you just kind of look at it and go like, that's a moment that it forces you to just, you're in this space, you're holding your breath for 90 seconds and everything just kind of flushes in and you just go on this, it's this weird journey. It was only 10 minutes, but it's hit me. And I've just been thinking about it here, about how crazy how our lives have changed. And like, we sat here, not in this chair, in Melbourne 18 months ago, whatever, with the last episode we did. And like, we're completely different.
So different.
And I'm looking at it, I'm going like, fuck, man. Like, we kept going. Like we went through all of the shit. We tried, we failed, we did things that didn't work, and we made it out the other end. And I'm like, we're nowhere near where we want to be yet, but we're sure a whole lot further than we ever thought we could be. Mm-hmm. And for that, I'm just fucking proud. And I'm sitting there doing the breath work, and I'm like, I'm still integrating from that moment, because I'm just going like, fuck, like, how is this life like right now? Like,
and it's hard because people listening to it probably right now are like, you just stopped drinking, dude. Like, it's not that deep, but there's so much other things that has helped us achieve over the past 6-12 months that has taken us on this crazy journey, and the results are incredible.
But the drinking's one aspect of it. The drinking unlocks all of the freedom to do the other stuff, because your Sunday is not a write-off, so you get a whole new day. Your Monday, you are feeling a whole lot better. You're not hungover at all, whereas you'd normally be about 40%. Your Tuesday, where you're normally about 60% because you're slowly recovering, you're still fine. All of a sudden, you've got 3 more full days in your week. You've got like, you're compounding the amount you're feeling good. So you feel way better about yourself. So you show up better. You have way more time and energy, so you can work on more things. You radiate this energy that makes people attracted to you. All of these things happen just from doing a simple thing of not fucking putting poison in your body.
And I want to be very clear as well. Like, I'm 25 now, and I've gone through, I started drinking when I was 15 or 16. So I've done 10 years of drinking. So I'm pretty happy to like put the bottle up on the shelf and be like, I really don't see the point. It doesn't serve me that much anymore for my goals. I might drink again in the future, but right now I don't see the point. But I've gone through 10 years of doing the thing. Now, drinking for me has given me incredible relationships that I have forged. I met one of my best friends, Louis. I met my head of sales, Luke. I've met countless people through drinking, which has been really beneficial for me. I've also made a lot of funny memories, a lot of mistakes, and I probably wouldn't change it for the world personally. Like, I'm really glad I went through that period, and I've had the young teens and young 20s to fuck up, make a heap of mistakes, have a heap of fun, and now I'm ready to go to a different chapter of my life and change things. And I don't want to demonize drinking, especially if you're someone that's 18 or 19 that's listening to this and are like, I've got to stop drinking, I've just got to lock in, because there are so many people that you haven't met yet. There's so many stupid mistakes that you haven't made yet. There's so many girls that you haven't slept with yet. Like, you can go out and do these crazy, stupid things that you're going to do. And then when you're ready, trust me, you want to cut out drinking if you really want to take your life to the next level.
Here's what I think. I'm not quitting drinking forever. I'll have a beer here and there. Why not? I mean, I haven't, but I will. If you hate your life and you're drinking, you've lost it.
Yeah.
Like I understand that it's a coping mechanism and you don't like the life, so it compounds. All you want to do is drink. But the thing is like, if you are very happy with where you are, you look in the mirror and you're like proud of who looks back, and you have a beer or you have some drinks, who cares?
Nothing.
95% of a hangover is mental. I guarantee it. It's like, you think about it. You go back to when you were 15. People say it's age. When you get older, you have more of a hangover.
I was getting bad hangovers last year. I was struggling.
But I tell you what, the reason the hangover's there is because it's anxiety. It's it's all the noise. Yeah, it poisons your body a little bit, but it's actually all of the other stuff. That's why when you're a kid and you have no dramas in the world, you're not as hungover. And like,
I don't know. I reckon you do get older. Like, I
think it's because you have
anymore.
more. I think it's because you have more responsibility.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's such a big factor. But I just think that there's elements, and the reason I brought that thing up and why the breathworks brought it out of me is I just think that like there's such a valuable lesson in there that like your life can fucking change so quickly, so fucking quickly. Like all of the things that you think you can achieve in 5 years, you can achieve in 6 months, and it can truly happen. And I think for me, I just get so passionate about this topic because there's so many people that don't know what to do. There's so many people that are so lost, and that's completely normal.
Yeah.
Everyone's fucking lost. I'm still figuring it out, right? But the thing is what I do know is that doing nothing isn't going to get you any closer. And so clearing out all the shit that does not serve you and just having space to invite stuff in hopes that you find something that does serve you is got to be the only way. Like if you're lost, it's like you don't just pull up a chair and park up there for life. It's like, no, you got to keep taking steps no matter how dark it is. And it's just like a great reminder for me to go, fuck, I'm sitting here in a bit of a euphoric state because of how my life is right now and everything that's going on. But it hasn't always been the case. In fact, it's not even been like this for very long at all. And I just get passionate about that. But dude, 18 months since we last spoke, is there some key changes that you think have happened in your life? Has there been any big differences, big turning points, or is life looking a lot different since then?
Very different, my friend. Very different. At that point that you were making, when you are a little bit lost, I was probably a little bit lost at the beginning of this year, New Year's, just a bit before New Year's. I was pretty heavy into the drinking. I was pretty heavy into fun, is what we call it. I was pretty heavy into demolishing my body every weekend, and I didn't really have that much structure with my days. We did High Rocks together in December, I believe, and 2 or 3 days before that, I was out till 5 a.m., 6 a.m. enjoying myself. Dom Dollar.
I remember that clearly.
Dom Dollar, enjoying myself, and came and did High Rocks. We still smashed it, which was good, but I kind of got to the end of the year and I had a really hard look at myself in the mirror. And I've been doing social media for 4 or 5 years now. I built this brand called PrimeTrain, and for 4 or 5 years of social media and business, I kind of didn't have much to show for it. I had a little bit of a following and I was quite well known in Australia, but from a financial perspective, I probably wasn't doing as well as what I should have been doing. I didn't have much control over my expenses. I was looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, I'm not actually happy at all with the person that I am, which would be very surprising to people probably that knew me at that time because they thought I might have been really happy. But for me, I was maybe at my absolute lowest. I could not bear the sight of myself. I was like, what am I doing with my life? I have so much potential. And potential is an interesting thing because people's perspective of your potential and your perspective of your potential are probably two different things. But my perspective of my potential was that I'm not reaching it and I've got to go a little bit further. So if you are lost, which I was at that time, I set myself some incredibly audacious goals. And I said after New Year's, where I had a few beers, I was going to lock in. I wasn't going to drink for the entire year of 2025. I told no one because I was too embarrassed to tell anyone. And my word is my word, and I'm going to stick to it if that's going to be the case. And I didn't want to tell my family. I didn't want to tell my friends or anyone that I wasn't going to drink. And then I set another goal. I wanted to earn, I wanted my business to earn $1 million in the year. And my business was probably earning about 7 or 8K a month, which wasn't very good. I had a terrible month. So I was like, what am I going to do here? So I set an audacious goal in that perspective, and then also set the goal of being consistent with my wake up time, being at 5 a.m. every morning, and consistent diet and training. They were probably 3 or 4 goals that I set for myself. And I just said in January, this is what I'm going to do. And pretty much looking back 7 months from now, I've done all of those things. And alcohol was probably one of the big ones because I knew that that was one of the things that was holding me back, because it started the next thing. Like I said, when I drink, I would have vape, and then I would go next. So I set myself those goals and I just said, let's lock in.
What else did you cut out?
People. Cut out a lot of people. And anyone that didn't align with my goals or values, I would just cut them out. And I probably lost a lot of friends, but I think I've got a smaller circle and a more aligned circle of people. I would say I probably have 5 or 6 friends, less maybe 3 or 4 friends that I would really call my friends. And you would know very clearly if you're one of those 3 or 4. And for me, that was a very powerful thing, cutting out those people. And it's not necessarily that they're not my friends anymore, because I would still call them my friends. I just don't spend really that much time with them, because I want to be surrounded by an environment that is positive, an environment that is pushing me, an environment that's driving me. And for me, that has been such a big thing. Being surrounded by that good environment, that drives me every day, because I'm so competitive. I absolutely love competing. I love competing against myself, and I love competing against other people. And I never want to be the smartest in the room. I love being challenged. I love chatting with you. I've loved spending the last 4 days in Austin with you, because we challenge each other all the time with our ideas, with our perspectives. And that drives me to think about things in a different way. I struggle with people that always agree with me, because it's like, you're always right. I don't want to always be right. I want to be wrong a lot of the time. And that's why I love spending time with my family as well, because they always challenge me as well.
Mm. You mentioned before that at the start of the year, you said you're at a low, and you think people listening are going to be surprised because they probably thought I was really happy. Why do you feel like your perception is not how you actually are?
Because other people's perspective of happiness might be what they regard as happiness. So when I say that, they would see being outgoing, which was what I was doing. I was going out a lot. I was very vibrant and happy and social, and I'd go out and I'd see heaps of people and I'd meet heaps of people, and I'd be very, hey mate, how you doing? You know, blah, 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 chat with them on a night out. But that was all kind of fake, because I wake up the next day and I was like, I feel like shit today. And then I'd stay in my room for like 2 or 3 days, and then might go out again and get that social feeling, get that environment, meet a few more people that I'd probably never speak to again. I might follow them on Instagram, and then it would just be the stupidest conversations, like just a waste of my time. And it was just, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's kind of good, because I just was just grinding myself into a rock bottom. And then I was like, all right, let's, when you hit rock bottom, you know, and that was, that was the time. And everybody would have been looking at me from an outsider's perspective, being like, that guy's so happy. He's going out all the time. He's social. He's having fun. But for me, I was broken.
It's that they're comparing basically their reality to your highlight reel. And so they judge how you are going based on a highlight reel because it's all they can see. When they see you in person, you're showing up, you're trying to give them the energy that you are going well, that all the thing. When you're online, you're not really posting the vulnerability. It's only just the highs. So they're manufacturing this story and forming this story about you, but it's actually only one little aspect of you. And this is how pedestaling can be birthed in someone's mind. You can look up to someone, and it's a really bad thing to do, to like pedestal someone, because you're not seeing their whole life. Like, we shouldn't be looking at pedestaling anyone. Like, everyone should be on the same level, because with every good, there's a bad, and the pendulum swings both ways. And we can get caught in this trap of, I'm looking at my whole life and assessing it in its entirety, which includes all of the extreme highs, all of the extreme lows, all of the lack of clarity, all of the middle things that are just meh. And then I'm looking at a highlight reel of someone else and I'm going, fuck, they're doing really well.
Yeah.
And then you start pedestaling that, not realizing all of the low that is attached to the high that we're seeing. Do you find yourself being challenged, I guess, with comparison? And has that been a challenge for you?
Social media is the number one tool that we use to compare at all times. Because like you said, it is the highlight reel. And for me, I was sharing everything that was highlight. And nowadays, what I try to do a little bit more with my content is show a little bit more vulnerability. I want to show to people that I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm working through things. We all are. And there are still things that I struggle with. And I post that. And of course, it doesn't get the same amount of views or reach because no one wants to see you failing. They want to see you succeeding. And when you post you succeeding on social media, it gets 10 times more likes than what it does when you post when you're failing.
I would argue that I would argue that a transformation performs better. So once you're out the other side, they like to see that.
But no one likes to see you
when
fat.
You're just
no one likes to see you
if you just say, I'm
drinking,
I've fucking fallen down a hole here, but then you don't say, but then I made it out. If there's no like, I made it out, then they're just like, fuck you, loser.
Exactly right. Yeah. So like some of my best posts recently have been a lot about transformation. So a lot about the changes I've made in the last 6 months, not drinking, not going out, having a smaller circle, all those types of things. But if I was posting that 6 months ago saying I'm drinking too much, I'm struggling mentally, like it's not going to get any. And I don't want sympathy as well. I don't want people being like, oh, poor you. Oh, are you okay? Do you want to like, that's for me to internalize. And I want that pressure on myself. I want to be like, all right, let's alchemize this. Let's change this. I want to be the person to come out on top. I don't want sympathy from people. I don't want people to say, poor you. I want to say like, let's turn this around yourself. And I think that I've had enough examples previously that I can do that. And it gives me confidence that I can do that again and again and again. And anytime that a setback comes now in life, I literally smile and I'm like, shit, yeah, like another time for me to respond.
Yep. There's this paradigm where deep down in men, we feel like it's only acceptable sharing a negative emotion once we're on the other side of the hard time, not while we're in it. I remember making this video and it was kind of like saying what's going on in a man's mind. I was basically saying like, you'd be surprised at how many times a man sits alone in his bathroom, in his bedroom, in his car, at the edge of his bed, just like holding in tears or stress because he's like hurt or he feels lost or he doesn't really know what to do. But then when he shows his face again in public, everything's perfectly fine, unbothered. It's just like nothing has happened. And then I know what the girls are thinking. They're thinking, why do men have to be like this? Why can't they just show their pain? And I just go, what you don't understand is that us men, we're wired in a way that makes us feel like sharing a negative emotion is only accepted once we're on the other side of the hard time, not while we're in it. And as much as it can get hard at times, we just like to keep things to ourselves. And I think the reminder here is it's the reason for that is because we're playing a game against ourselves and no one else. It's like we need to go through that hard time, because then when we achieve the goals and we achieve the life that we want to live, we can like get to that point, be there and be like, I fucking deserve this. Like I've been through all the shit and I fucking deserve this. And no one is going to understand that while you're in it.
It's really difficult.
And so I like this element. Do you think that if we look at that though, do you feel like you beat yourself up and you're quite hard on yourself?
Do you want me to read you a journal entry?
Because I think I look at these times where we're not vocalizing the challenge, but we're going through it. And what I've noticed with you spending the last few days together, which has been awesome, and it's awesome to see the growth, is you have a lot more like depth now than a year ago. I think you've had a lot more time to be introspective, to think. But does that come with challenge of being fucking your own enemy at times?
Absolutely. I would say always I've held myself to an incredibly high standard, and probably a higher standard than anyone else has ever held me to. And I really enjoy the challenge of being 1% better every day. I've got like a 1% growth every day poster on my wall, and I look at that every day and I just think, how can I be 1% better every day? And some days I'm not 1% better. Some days I'm 1% worse. Some days I'm 50% worse. And there are times where this year especially, I've felt bad habits just creep back in a little bit, and laziness or my mindset start to change a little bit. And I don't want to go back to being that person, because I know how unhappy I was when I was that person, that I need to make sure that I stay on top of the things that I'm doing and the things that I've promised myself. So I'm going to read you out a journal entry from this year when I just felt there was probably a few weeks, like, to put in perspective, everything started going really well with business. Everything was going really well with my fitness. And I got an injury that came up when I was doing squats in the gym, and things started to unravel. Like, I started ordering like Uber Eats, and because I couldn't get out of bed, I did my back really badly. I missed like 3 games of footy, and I was really unhappy with how life was going. And I needed something that was going to switch me up. So I'll read you out a journal entry.
Oh, here we go.
You ready for this?
Here we go.
And you guys are gonna be shocked by this. You're allowed to swear on this, aren't you?
Let's run it.
That weak, this is 28th of April this year. That weak fucking loser is back again. The one that negotiates with himself, who can't fucking say what he's going to do and actually follow through with it. I thought we said we were going to be different and we were going to be consistent this year. I thought we said we were going to lock in. This month you've been nothing but a lazy sack of shit. You've been weak. What the fuck is wrong with you? This goes on for 2 pages pretty much.
Let's go.
Take accountability. It is your fault. Everything's your fault. Everything you've done lately, you've negotiated with yourself. You think you can coach people when you don't even live that life. You're a fucking fraud, a coward. Grow the fuck up right now. Stop being a little bitch. Fuck you. I'm not going to continue. I skipped a little bit through, but there is a time in our lives, and I call it negative self-talk, but what it really is honest self-talk. There are times in your life where you have to be fucking raw and honest with yourself and tell yourself you are not reaching the level that you need to. And no one talks to themselves like this anymore for some reason. I don't know why. Sometimes you need to give yourself a little bit of a serve, because everyone around you is being so nice, saying, oh, it's okay, you're fine, but you're unhappy. So fucking go out there and be honest with yourself and start to change some things about it, because they were the honest conversations I had to have with myself at the start of the year. And it's conversations that I have to have with myself throughout the year, being like, bro, fucking harden up. No one is coming to save you. It is time for you to turn things around, and you're the only person that's going to fucking do it.
Mic drop. I think it's an interesting balance between being so brutal on yourself and having harsh truths. And the reason I say this is because when you are saying that, I think it's only appropriate saying that when you're falling down a hole, not when you've just not done a little bit of your million to-do list that you had to do.
There are times for positive self-talk. Absolutely. There's times to pat yourself on the back, and that is equaled out by months of positive self-talk. But there are times when if you're not happy with how things are going and everybody around you is telling you, no, it's okay, you're fine, that no one in this day and age is honest enough with people saying like, you are fucking being lazy, time to harden up. You're the only person really that knows because you live with yourself 24/7. You know if you're taking the easy way out. You know if you're taking shortcuts. You know if you're not responding to emails when you should, you're not posting the content when you should, or you're going out and doing these things that you shouldn't be doing. You're the only fucking person that knows. So if the only person that can actually tell you that it's time to harden up is you.
Yeah. And you're the only one that knows the full piece of your life. Because it's easy for someone to say, no, you're doing fine, but they're comparing you to some average Joe in their life. It's like, well, yeah, but you're so far from your potential. And I think the hard conversations are appropriate when you're slacking. And what I mean by this is like, if you're regressing further away from where you truly want to be and you're not where you want to be, like, you need to be that person that decides, okay, I am going to change. No one gives a fuck if you change or not. Let's be real. No one cares. They're not thinking about you. If you think you're that special that people are thinking about you, you've got it wrong. No one gives a fuck about you. And I think the sooner we realize that, the sooner we go that the only way we're going to change is by if I decide that I'm going to change. It's appropriate if you're in a low or if you're regressing.
Do you ever talk to yourself like that?
No. I would say that sometimes I talk to myself in a little bit of more of a mild manner, negatively. I would say that we get in our heads so much all the time. And I think I'd say that I have a really high standard, and I do. I definitely don't say it like this, but what I also would say is I probably don't resonate as much with the all or nothing mentality, whereas I can tell that you probably really do, where it's like I'm in this or not. And so when you probably slip, you might slip a bit further than me. But when you're on, you're probably way more on than I am. And so I think it's appropriate to do these things when you are slacking. And I just think it's important that when we're doing really well, we don't get caught in this comparison loop and still think that we're not doing well. And so we're not satisfied with anything we've fucking done. And then we say messages like that to ourselves, even when we're winning, even when we're getting steps closer to our goals, even when we set goals at the start of the year and we've achieved most of them already halfway through the year and we're beating ourselves up again. I just think it's a slippery slope because like we already have enough people that are against us. We already have like fucking people online that
you gotta say names.
Yeah. We already have people that are trying to tear you down. Don't tear yourself down if you're doing well. And I think that's the conversation you have to have with yourself. You have to decide whether you're doing well or not. But I think truly that there can be a moment where we step over the line, where we actually become our own enemy, and in the times when we really need us to be our own hero. Like we really need us to pat ourselves on the back at times, because when we're achieving so much, and we truly are, but we're still beating ourselves up, it's like, fuck, yeah, maybe we're not at our potential, but potential's all made up. There's no like, this is your potential. There's no line. You've made that up. And so the fact that you've made that up, you're setting an expectation on what your potential is, and it's a slippery slope.
Potential is the most interesting thing, isn't it? Because potential is your potential or your perspective of what your potential is versus everybody else's idea of what your potential is versus your mum and dad's idea of what your potential is. It's all completely subjective. No one has any potential is a made up word. It's just it's a made up thing. It doesn't really exist. But the only thing that really matters is how high do you think your potential is, and what are you going to do to reach that?
Last conversation we had 18 months ago, you said one of the traps you got caught in was showing up basically as like a lie. You would say that like I would post I did 3 workouts today and I didn't even do a single one. And like this was a thing where you just said, yeah, like I just felt like a fraud and an imposter. Like in that thing you said, oh, I feel like a fraud. I feel fake. Is this a constant challenge for you to feel the need to show up in a certain way, or do you feel like you're in a better spot now?
Yeah, not at all anymore. I think that for me, I wrote that down because for me as a coach, as an online coach, and teaching people and coaching people to be at the top of their ability, and if I'm on a one-on-one coaching call or a check-in call with one of my clients and I'm saying, hey, you need to lose weight, or you need to stop ordering Uber Eats, yet I'm doing it, then that makes me feel like an absolute fraud. But I would never be like drinking and going out or doing anything like that and telling. For me, I want to be able to be the best coach. I want to be the best fitness and lifestyle coach in Australia. I want to help as many people as I can. And to do that, I have to show up every single day for myself, and I have to show up every single day for my clients as well. I think that one of the most motivating things for me is getting up every day and showing up not just for myself, but for my clients as well. So then when I do jump on those check-in calls, I can say, hey mate, like this is what you've got to do. And I feel not like an imposter. I don't feel like a fraud because I've done those workouts today. I've done what I've set for myself today, and I can tell other people then to do those things. And especially that's what I've found from getting rid of the drinking and getting rid of all of that type of stuff, is now I've experienced what it's like to go through that hardship, to go through losing some of those friends that were actually kind of pulling you back down a little bit and you didn't really even know. And then when you've stopped kind of going out, you've stopped drinking, you've stopped spending so much time with those people, you've changed your environment, and now you're with it's like going from TV, it's like watching TV in grey, and now you've got the TV in clear. It's literally like a completely different world that I live in now, and changing your environment, going through all those things. So I understand what people are going through when they come to me and go, I'm 3 weeks off drinking and all my friends are trying to pull me back down. They're trying to pull me back into the drinking. They're trying to pull me back into the going out, or they want me to go out for dinner 4 or 5 times a week, or my girlfriend wants to go out for 4 date nights a week and I can't do that. And it's like, you just have to say no. Like, it's only going to be 12 weeks or 6 months. Like, it's not that long of a period of time. Do it for then, and then for the rest of your life, you know you've got the discipline, you know you can say no, and you can go back to kind of a bit more of a maintenance phase where you live like a normal person, if that's what you want to be. But if you don't want to be normal and you want to be extraordinary and you want to do something else, you're going to have to continue to sacrifice things potentially for the rest of your life. And sacrifice is this thing where it's like, I'm giving away something that I really want. But for me, drinking and some of these other things that I'm giving away, I don't really want to do them.
Well, it's choosing your sacrifice, because if you sacrifice going out, you have more clarity, which means you don't have to sacrifice your mental focus. It's like, if you drink, you're not sacrificing going and drinking, but you're sacrificing like having a clear mind the next day.
Exactly.
Choosing it, like choosing your heart. It's hard to say no to the thing that you want to do, which is that party, that event. But it's also hard being hungover. So it's just choosing what you want. And I think the crazy thing about this is it compounds, and it actually gets easier the longer you go through the path. You set out on a 12-week journey, right? I'm going to get fit. I'm going to go through a 12-week program. The first 2 weeks is fucking hard because you want the burger, you want the beer. 4th week, you're seeing a little bit of results. You look in the mirror and you slashed a few kgs off. All of a sudden, that beer and that burger isn't as attractive. Still have these slight urges. You get 10 weeks in and you're a whole completely different person. And not only do you not want the beer, but you can't fathom the beer. And so then all of a sudden, you're not even sacrificing because you don't even want it.
You don't want it anymore. And the sacrifice of, you can replace the sacrifice with something else, right? So the sacrifice of going out and drinking and having the beer, you feel like you're sacrificing your social life, right? But over those 10 weeks, you might find a new way of meeting people. It might be through run clubs. You might go up to people in the gym a little bit more. You might be going to fitness classes and you're shaking people's hands and they're taking photos of you, and then you go out to dinner with them. There are other ways to meet people and to socialize, especially these days, that aren't just drinking, going out until 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. until the sunrise comes up. So you can find other avenues of meeting people that are maybe people that you want to be surrounded by a little bit more. And once you get to the end of those 12 weeks, the amount of people that say to me, oh my God, like, I want to do this forever. Like, how can I do another 3 months? How can I do another 6 months? And the amount of people that now have the tools and resources to do that for the rest of their life, with me or without me. That's exactly what I want. I don't want them to ever have to buy a trainer or a coach or a program or anything ever again, because they have the tools and resources to do what they need to do for the rest of their life. And they might have those urges every now and then, and it's okay to have a burger every now and then, or a pizza every now and then, or whatever you want. Because now you're at the weight, you're at the look, you're happy with the person that you are, and you've got a little bit more balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My best friend quit alcohol at the start of the year as well. And I remember him writing, he said, I'm sure he's fine with me sharing this, but he just said, like, I have all of these things I want to achieve, and alcohol will be the only thing that makes me not achieve them. Because it's the gateway, right? It opens up all the rest of the things and starts all of the stuff. But one of the hesitations was, okay, dating women, now I'm going to have to do it sober. And for me, it's so normal in my life now, dating women sober, because I just don't drink. But I remember that concern of, like, the little bit of liquid confidence you get by having a glass of wine on the date. And, you know, it's so much easier to do it. And I remember that being a concern for him, and he was explaining to me, and it's this weird thing where you get over that little hurdle, and the first one is a little bit challenging. It's a little bit awkward. You go on this date without drinking and, like, you're here to dinner and you're not ordering any alcohol, which is just mind blowing to me that is it's like you need that to show up for a woman. But then you have the date. It goes well, it's fine. And then you have another one and it's fine again. And then all of a sudden it's just normal. And I think the lesson here isn't about going on a date. But the lesson here is that it's not going to be easy straight away. It is going to be a little bit uncomfortable, but then it becomes normal, and then you can't comprehend it. And so as much as it can be hard in the moment, it gets easier. It genuinely does. And it's the same with everything in life. Everything in life. How do you expect to start something new and be good at it? Treat it the same. I've not been sober. It's not going to be easy. I'm new at this thing, right? And so it's just like, don't expect it to be easy, because guess what? It may not be initially. And it's easy for someone like me to say, yeah, just fucking don't drink, man. I don't drink. I've drank a handful of times in the last couple of years. I just don't. That's okay. I don't care if you do. If you love your life and you drink, fuck yeah. Mm-hmm. One of my mentors, he goes on bougie lunches like 4 times a week. He's a millionaire and he just chills, and he like doesn't really have desire to make 100 million, but he loves his life, and he's like, and you see him excited all the time, and his wife looks at him in awe, and he's got a kid, and he can have wine every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday if he wants, and he's not hungover because he doesn't have a worry. And so, like, I think there's exceptions to the rule, but I just think applying this to everything in life, it's like, you want to start Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Do you think you're going to be good at it in your first session? No. When you stop alcohol, you're not going to be good at that thing either. And so coming to terms with that is really powerful.
Yeah, and you're so right. Anything that you start, like, don't compare yourself to anyone else, like BJJ or boxing. I remember I started boxing like 3 years ago, and I walked into the gym and I was scared shitless. And I've always been under the perspective of, like, I'm not good at that thing, so why would I go and try it? Like, before, like 3 years ago, I was like, I like footy, or I like whatever it is. Like, I'm just going to keep doing that because I'm good at it. But the older that I've gotten, the more I've realized, oh, you have to start from zero a lot of times in your life. And that is such a beautiful thing, because you also get newbie gains where you start off and you're actually get pretty good pretty quickly. And you kind of get motivated a little bit. And you see it a lot with people, like when they're losing weight or when they, when they do start to stop drinking, a lot of things can change. But like you said, with if you're going out and I think a lot of people are scared of judgment as well from the girls. So if you go out and you say, oh, I don't really drink or anything like that, I haven't gone on any dates in the last 7 months, so I've got no idea. I have not a clue. I've got no idea about relationships. I'm 25. I'm single. So any relationship advice from me, take it with a grain of salt. I have no idea. But I would be scared of judgment probably from the girl if I did go on a date. And I think that if you are scared of judgment, or if they do judge you, probably not your person. Maybe probably not going to work.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, I don't know anything about dating. I don't know anything about relationships. I have zero clue, zero idea. I'm single, so.
What about like backlash and hate and this is an interesting topic, right? We have people like Laura that came at you, right, recently.
Both of us.
Came at both of us, but like someone's unplugged that person. I genuinely believe. But anyway, like I think like the plug was in the wall, and then at some point they just like someone tripped over the cord and like pulled out, and so like it's not operating properly. But but anyway, people like this, right? Like people like this, like I feel like we can talk about how you felt during the whole thing. You obviously doubled down. What would be fascinating is I wonder if this happened when you were at that low, when you weren't as confident in yourself, when you weren't making all the progress towards the life you wanted to live, if you were drinking, having mindless sex, doing all of the thing. I wonder if she tried to attack you at that point, how you would have responded. Because for me, I look at it and I go, all of that went down with me. And my Whoop scores were higher than they'd ever been. I didn't give a fuck. I'd made more money than I've ever made in my whole life.
Yeah.
I could fucking chill. I was good. You could take everything away from me, and me and my family were still good. I was jacked and ripped. I'm a good-looking young white male. I'm very privileged. I'm moving over to America to build the biggest podcast in the world. I'm crystal clear on what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. You have some person that's just been unplugged to try and attack me. Like, I'm fine. And I actually felt calm. There was a couple of moments of increased level of pressure and stress, but for the most part, I was good. But if you got me at a low, who knows? Maybe I say sorry. Maybe I back down. Maybe I say you're right in the hopes of pleasing people. Do you think that it came at a good time and you feel a lot more secure in yourself, so it was a bit easier to handle that?
Absolutely. And again, your perspective of the world changes so much. And my perspective of the world right now, from especially all the people that I've spoken to over the last 6 or 7 months, like to put it in perspective for you, I would go around and travel around to local football clubs, right? And I would go to those local football clubs and I would play a football game, and I'd go to training on the Thursday. I'd meet a heap of the lads, and then I'd play on the Saturday. And I would make pretty good connections with most of the people inside the football club, 150 to 200 people inside each of those 12 football clubs that I did across 12 weeks of the start of the football season. Now, in those 12 weeks, every single club that I went to, I would meet maybe the person who was most jovial, who was might appear the happiest person from the outside, the person that walked around with his chest puffed out and was happy about how everything's going. And you're like, wow, that guy's got it all figured out. At every single football club, that person would jump on a call with me and would tell me how much he is unhappy with his life. Just about every football club. There were also other people at the club that weren't just happy. So it's not just the incredibly happy person. There are other people inside that football club that you have no idea about, that no one has any idea about, that are incredibly struggling with their mental, their physical, their spiritual, whatever it might be. And a lot of them simply just wanted to get themselves in good shape, or they wanted to stop drinking every weekend. They want to stop going out. They want to stop getting on the bags every weekend because I was spending too much on that. And I would help and try and help every single one of those people get in good shape. I would be brutally honest with them, and I would take them through kind of what I did in my experience. So bringing it back to your question, I think that with Laura's stuff, how she was attacking me about all of these type of things, those people, to put it in perspective for everyone, Laura was attacking me for saying that I would prefer my fitness coach or fitness professional to have had experience, to be in good shape, and to also, if I'm selling something that is to get you off alcohol, to get you off drugs, all that type of thing, I would want a coach that has gone through that experience as well. So for me, those people came to me.
Definitely not doing the thing.
Definitely not doing the thing. So those people came to me because I've got that experience, because I've also got fitness qualifications as well, but because I've got that experience and they see me as someone that can help them get them through that. So every single one of those people I have helped in whatever way I can, and I've seen the visible change of their energy, of their happiness, of they're proud of their body, they're strong, they're fit, they rock up to work on time, they're getting promotions at work, and it's literally just from having them lock in and having them change things. So when Laura comes at me saying all these type of things, I wouldn't have been able to be that level of coach to those people unless I've had that experience and unless I've had those qualifications. So I think, and my perspective is that any coach that I've ever wanted, and going through that experience of having her kind of attack me, I'm like, I'm helping so many people do so many great things. And whatever you say to me does not affect me because I've got 500, 600, 700 clients that are the happiest, the strongest, the best that they've ever been, the best they've ever felt. They've got the abs for the first time that they've ever had since 16. And they're like, their wife finally loves them again and is turned on by them. It's like, dude, these guys are fucking changing their lives. Like, get up and about.
I also think what's important to note here is the thing that she attacked you on is based on how you're saying, like, they got to look the part. And people, and her health ridiculous thing was health comes in different sizes, whatever the fuck that means.
Health comes in different. So what the fuck?
Said. Anyway,
what the fuck does that mean?
But the thing that I'm quite passionate about is they lean on these like things like fitness, like what degrees do you have, what certifications that you have, and I actually don't even know how much that matters, because here's the deal. When you're out of shape, it's not the program that gets you in shape. It's doing it that does.
Mm-hmm.
You need someone that can motivate you to do the thing, because you can go on ChatGPT and find a program,
mm-hmm.
but you need to be attached to someone that you're inspired by that will help
hold
you do
you
the
accountable.
work. And the money that you transact is the thing that you are saying, I commit to this. That's why you're paying the money. That's why you're using that person. It's not the fucking program.
Mm-hmm.
As much as there'll be nuance and people will help, it's you like that person, you're inspired by that person, you want to make that person proud, and you want to make yourself proud. And by transacting, you're going to do the work.
Exactly right.
Right?
And I think, you go.
And so with this, like, take Alfie, for example. He doesn't even have a fitness certification. He's making like millions of dollars helping changing lives,
mm-hmm.
right? And he's doing a very good deed.
Mm.
I don't care what anyone says. Doing a very good deed, helping so many people change their
Absolutely.
lives, right? Now, people are inspired by him. They're transacting, which means they're committing. They're doing the work. They're changing their life. So then they love their life more.
In what world is that a bad thing? And we're surrounded by overweight people, obese people, depressed people, people that are unhappy with their lives. Now, let's just be very clear. If I wanted a coach, I would want someone that looks fit and healthy and also has the qualifications in a perfect world. But if I had the choice between someone that is unfit and has qualifications versus someone that is very fit and doesn't have the qualifications, I would take the person who is very fit and doesn't have the qualifications, because at least they have the lived experience, which for me personally is more important than someone that has qualifications and not lived experience. That is just my priority.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty simple. Like,
but also here's the thing, is, are you allowed to have an opinion? Like
if you're 25 years old and a white male, apparently.
Like, no. Is the Pope Catholic?
Yeah.
Like,
But that's a fact. That's different to an opinion.
it's not a fact,
isn't it? Oh, I don't know.
No, but it's like, okay, the Pope, he could be Catholic, but what is Catholic? And it's like, there's not many facts in this world. The sun doesn't rise, we spin. Like, there's a few facts, but there's very,
I know what you get, yeah.
very little facts. I think everything's perception, and I truly think that we're allowed to have our opinion. It's like, I love women, and I think
but I understand where they're coming from, because it could be dangerous and it could make people feel insecure or inadequate as a trainer if they are not in great shape. And I do understand that is harsh, and unfortunately, and going back to the point that I was actually making at the time, which was, if you want to be an online fitness coach, you have to be in shape. That is what I was saying. In a visual world of being online and being seen online, if you want to be successful, I don't know any or many successful fitness coaches that aren't in shape online. You will be 100% more successful in a saturated market of online fitness coaches if you are fit and healthy. I think that is just a very blatant fact that you can't disagree with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just simple. It's like you do, like, practice and preach the thing that you're doing, and it's like, you're not going to take discipline advice from your drunk uncle.
And again, I understand where they're coming from, and I like
the fact that you are covering your bases and you're saying you understand where they come from. But I think
I do, because the reason I do is because I have male and I do have female clients, and the way
60% of this people listening right now are women.
And I coach my female clients differently to how I coach my male clients. Now, a lot of the people that I speak, like the males that I speak to, it's a lot more direct. It's a lot more. I'm trying to hit them a lot more kind of from an emotional standpoint, like, you really need to figure your fucking shit out, bro, because if you don't, no one's coming to save you. With my female clients, I am a little bit less direct with things. So I understand from a female perspective of, like, the way that you have to speak to them. It is different. It is nuanced. And you have to be careful with how direct you are, because it can incite a little bit more emotion than what you're willing to get out of them. So I do understand that.
And I think the thing is, though, is we obviously get that.
But I'm 95% men. So
and that's the whole thing. It's like, you weren't talking to women in that post. You're talking to young men that don't love their life and that they want change. And I think that's what they need to hear at times. But dude, I feel like I just want to commend you for, like, the growth, the change. It's just cool to have you in my life, and I don't know, it's just an exciting time of life. I think there's so much happening. It's exciting. There's unknown, there's clarity, there's everything. I'm kind of like feeling it all, and it's been cool to have you in town. I feel like you're, as I said earlier, like I don't know, you definitely have been thinking and being introspective a lot more and being open, and I don't know, you've been thinking deeper recently as well, which is quite cool.
Yeah, it's been great. And again, I don't have it figured out. I'm 25. I got to think about the growth that I've had just in the last 6 months. I couldn't imagine where I'm at when I'm, hopefully, if I continue to grow, when I'm at 26, 27, 30, 35, 40. And everything that I am doing now is to try and set my life up for when I get to 30 or 40. And I want to work incredibly hard now. And I want to focus really hard on these kind of next 5 years or 2 or 3 years, really focus on my business and really try and grow that to the level that it needs to be, so I can give my family, give my kids, give everyone a comfortable life, and hopefully a healthy and happy life as well. And I'm much happier now. I'm more than much happier. I'm the happiest I've probably ever been. I'm the most fulfilled that I've ever been. And I can't wait to keep watching you grow as well, because it's been funny the last 18 months. I feel like we've almost exponentially as well seen your growth with everything, with the way that you've taking things in your stride. It's super motivating for me. So I'm so lucky to kind of call you a really, really, really close friend as well.
Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. And I'm just pumped to watch it all unfold, pumped to be there by your side, pumped to support you wherever I can and keep on growing together, bro.
You too, bro. See you in Dubai.
Let's do it. Yeah, Tommy's moving to Dubai. I don't know if I'll go see him. We'll see how we go.
Why don't you want to come see me in Dubai?
I've
got to give you a place.
Yeah, I'll come see you. But if you guys made it to the end, I'm going to leave all of Tom's details in the show notes in the description below. Go and check him out. If you want to get fit and healthy, go to this guy. He's fit and healthy as well. So he's practicing what he preaches.
I live it.
He left today and did hectic interval running. He was like, I'm going out. I'll be back soon. And he ended up just destroying himself. He came back dripping sweat.
All over your floor. I apologize.
Go and check out Tom and inquire about him if you want to do some coaching. And this episode will be out on Monday, which means that this week the podcast course is launching, Community, the Podcast Jungle, which I'm pretty pumped with. I've actually never promoted it on here, but in the link below this is an application form. Fill that out if you're interested in starting, growing, scaling, monetizing your personal brand or your podcast. I'm the go-to guy for that, and we've been crushing it. We've been diving deep with people, getting some awesome results for them over the past 3 months, and now we're bringing it to life with a community format, and I'm really, really pumped about it. So if you wanted to take that to the next level and you made it to this far into the convo, then fucking go and check that out.
Get it.
Support Tom, support me, and leave a 5-star review on Spotify because it will help the show grow and it helps us keep getting awesome people like Tom back on the show. We're going to sign out for this week, but I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye-bye.
Love you, bro.
Love you, bro.